So we're going to talk about houseplants. So I understand houseplants are widely popular now.
They are. As people have been spending more time at home over the last couple years, a lot of people are rediscovering their home hobbies and things they can get into. So people who've maybe discovering houseplants for the first time, or those who've had plants for a while and they're just starting to get a little more into it, are discovering all the wild and crazy houseplants that are out there that are fun to collect and make a combination of with all the different shapes, colors, patterns on the leaves.
Okay. So are houseplants easy to maintain and take care of?
They can be. If you know what they need and you're able to give them the conditions that they need, they can be quite easy. For instance, a snake plant, the sansevieria, has been a popular houseplant for quite some time. It's been around for a while. And this is what we think of as the typical snake plant with some different stripes of green on the leaves.
Okay.
And this likes low light all the way up to a bright indirect light. But most importantly is to let it dry in between waterings. During the summer, I can water these guys maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. But during the winter, that'll go down to maybe once a month or once every 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
The soil really needs to dry out in between waterings.
That's pretty impressive for the wintertime. Yeah, once a month. Golly.
It is. Well, they store water in their leaves.
Yeah.
So they need to be able to dry out, to be able to take advantage of that water. And as I said, this is the typical snake plant, but there are a lot of others out there that are becoming wildly popular these days. So one of them is this one, the whale fin sansevieria, that grows typically as a single leaf like this. As it fills in the pot, it may start to send up a second leaf, but usually it's just going to be this one great big speckled leaf. And that's becoming quite a popular collectible houseplant currently.
It's a pretty impressive leaf.
It is.
Pretty good size.
And another sansevieria that's popular right now is this other form that also typically grows as a single leaf. This is the baseball bat snake plant, baseball bat sansevieria. And it does grow that way, nearly cylindrical. It's a pretty hefty plant. And another one to be real sure that you don't overwater, because it does store a lot of water in that leaf.
Baseball bat. How about that? Okay.
And another, to me, an even wilder one. This is called the walking sansevieria.
Walking.
So it grows on these stilt-like roots. It's up above the level of the pot, and it spreads by sending out this new little baby plant on a runner. And eventually, as this gets a little bigger, it'll send down roots of its own. So if there's a pot next to it, it'll send down roots into another pot, and that's how it walks from pot to pot. Isn't that neat?
Wow, pretty wild. So tell me this. I understand that you, I see that you have rocks in there. So what are the rocks for?
Well, I've got a few rocks mixed into the potting medium. It is a very well-draining medium. The rocks were honestly to help it stay upright when I planted it. It's now gotten pretty well rooted, but it does tend to wobble a bit when it's first planted, being up on those stilts for roots.
That's pretty impressive.
And this one does have some pretty thorns, pretty sizable thorns to be aware of. So if you have maybe a small child in the house, that might not be the best bet.
Okay.
But we do have another. This is also a walking sansevieria that is much easier to have around. You're not going to stab yourself on the ends of those leaves. This is a different species. This is Sansevieria gracilis, and it spreads the same way with these long pieces that come out and eventually will send down roots to walk into another pot.
I like that, walk into another pot.
Isn't that neat?
Pretty neat. That is neat.
So all the sansevierias are considered a type of succulent. That means that they carry water inside their leaves.
Okay.
And then another thing people like to collect in their house plant are colorful plants. So this is an oxalis. Some people call it a purple shamrock. And we get the benefit of flowers as well as these colorful leaves. So they're real pretty on top, and they're also colorful underneath.
Yeah, love the color.
Isn't that pretty? And they like light. They can take nearly full sun. They need pretty strong light, medium to strong light to color up the best. And pretty regular water, once or twice a week would be fine for them. The leaves close up at night on these guys, which is a kind of fun little thing to come in at night and see it all closed up like it's asleep.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen the flowers before. Those are pretty.
They are pretty.
Nice.
Nice pink shade that goes along nicely with the leaf color.
Okay.
And
great plants, God.
Similar color is the purple queen, which this is often grown here as an outdoor plant in the summertime. It goes by a number of names: purple queen, purple heart. Very sun. The more sun, the better. It'll color up the best in the sunlight, and it can take average water. It likes to dry out a bit in between waterings. And that is a tradescantia. And this is a similar one. It's also a tradescantia called pale puma. And it's a little more green on the outside. It's purple. The leaves underneath are purple. And it's a little fuzzy on top. This one also, if it's in full sun, this has been indoors, so it's mostly green on top. But outside in full sun, it'll darken up to be as deep purple as this purple queen and still have that fuzzy sheen to it, which is neat. Either one of these will trail too. If it's in a hanging basket or a large pot, the stems will eventually grow and hang down out of the pot.
Yeah, I usually see these a lot in hanging baskets.
Great basket plant, great porch plant,
Okay.
hanging around outside of your porch.
Okay.
So another similar to these guys is this other tradescantia here with the pink and the purple streaks on the leaves. The variety on that is called Nanook. And Nanook. It's also sometimes called Fantasy Venice. So very, very colorful names with some of these guys. And next to that, we have two different kinds of begonias. Begonias have really come back into style lately as people are getting into their plant collections because they have such colorful leaves, colorful and varied leaves.
Okay.
The one in the middle is the polka dot begonia. That's become extremely collectible lately. It likes a decent amount of water, pretty regular waterings, and bright light, bright indirect light. I wouldn't put it in full sun. You'd probably singe the leaves a bit. And then the one on the other side is called a looking glass begonia.
Wow.
It's got a real nice silvery sheen, does look almost like you're looking into a mirror.
Wow.
So aptly named. And that's another one that can take bright indirect light and a good amount of water. You don't want any of these to sit in water or the roots could rot, but regular water as long as the water drains on out of it.
All right. Yeah, so it seems like the biggest takeaway is not to overwater many of your houseplants.
Yes, with certain houseplants like a peace lily, it may enjoy sitting in water, but in most cases, your houseplants are really going to want to be able to dry out a little bit in between the watering, let their feet get dry before you water it again.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you. It's great information. Great information.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please click the subscribe button below.